All right, what does Jeff say? Here we go. And I don't know what else he says. There's something about like live from Hamilton and live from North Carolina, but you're not in North Carolina, and you're definitely heck of a lot better at this than I am. So,
No.
hi, Purple Haze.
Ryzak, what's going on?
Oh, how are you?
I'm doing well. Oh my goodness, I feel so honored and privileged to be on your show.
Stop.
Do.
You were fall guying it up over there. I wasn't chatting because I was getting stuff ready, but I was watching. So
thanks for stopping by. That was an impromptu fall guy thing. So
hey, you got it in at the last minute there, so so it worked out, I think.
Yeah. Well, getting in at the last minute is back in my heyday, that's what we did.
There you go. That's what you got to do to get it in. So it looks a little different tonight. Obviously, Jeff is not here, so already the show is much better. And I'm just playing. Jeff's watching. He's got the Cowboys and the Eagles tonight, so you can imagine the emotion that he's going through this evening. But the Cowboys are winning pretty handily right now, from what I understand. So
I mean, they're going to win the Super Bowl. That's what I heard.
It's every year. That's how it goes. America's team. I got the chance to talk with you a little while ago and kind of help set up what we're going to do today. And just to let everyone know, we're gonna have a heavy basketball content show today because Jeff doesn't like to talk about basketball, and I'm a basketball fan. Like, I love basketball, and I know you do too. So gonna pick your brain, and we're gonna have some good discussions, I think, and hopefully you'll leave here wanting to come back another time.
I always try to, if I'm in town. If I don't stream, I don't come. But if I stream, I always come.
Oh, man. Well, got a lot of your folks that were in your stream that came over. So thank you all very, very much. Rouster, Crow Resin, Sanchez. Let's see.
All the thing. It's all our community.
It's everybody that was over there.
Ja! I used to live in Ja from Hawaii. Well, she's in Wisconsin.
Ambi's in here. Where's Ducky? I don't have Ducky. I'm not doing Ducky. You got to understand something. I'm running the stream today, and I don't run streams anymore. So all the like cool chat coming up on the screen and stuff that we usually see, I'm going to be super slow at it because I got a lot of things I'm trying to juggle over here. Right? Jeff left me high and dry, but Purple Haze is here to save the day. So I got some purple on. I don't know if you can tell it's purple, but my kids' high school colors are purple. I tried to get the purple lights on. Was trying to be festive. So
festive. I love it. I love it. I see that Stadia controller. Got the purple Stadia controller in the background.
Yeah, there's the Luna controller too up there.
Oh, it is purple too.
Yep.
I have Luna. It's back there somewhere. I think you can see it.
So what have you been up to, Purple Haze? I don't know what you shared with your chat, or everything that you shared with your chat, but what's been going on in life recently?
Life? Oh my goodness. Just work. I'm doing a move. I told people about that, and just trying to game.
Yeah.
Just trying to game.
Well, I saw your little backlog that you were scrolling through there. The horror genre just really sticks with you. It seems.
I like the stories. It's the story. I don't know if you watched it today, but we didn't. Not everybody survived on the stream.
Oh no.
And I'm okay.
I heard you say you beat it.
But yeah, we beat it.
You beat it tonight.
Beat it tonight, yeah. And the thing about it is, I just can't. Like, I don't mind if they die. Yeah. Like, right, that's their choice. They decide to make that decision. I'm just there to watch it. But it does bother me when they die a quick death.
Yeah.
And she died a quick death, bullet to the head, and I just frustrated me.
You shared with me earlier you like story games, but do you like more like RPG type story games? Do you like action adventure type story games? Do you just like mystery?
No, I like mystery. Like, we have to be solving something. So if you notice, like I'm a big fan of the Darksiders series. So that's like, there's a story in that. And I like things that beautiful, pretty, what I call pretty games usually.
Okay. Pretty games.
Yeah. Like an Ori or
Ori is a good looking game.
Have you played it?
I have.
Yeah.
Ori and the Blind Forest.
Ori and the Blind Forest, and I'm almost about to beat Will of the Wisp from Ori. So
okay, I haven't played that one.
That's a solid one. So yeah, I like pretty games. Ambi gives me a lot of grief for some of the things that's all really pretty, but I don't know. It's really nice. But Ryzak, we were talking, and you have like your genre of games, right? That you.
Yep, I do. I like the RPGs. I like the open world RPGs. I like starting with nothing and building through to, max things out. And spent a lot of time playing Minecraft with the kids when they were younger, working on that building, and so we're gonna talk some about Epic Games and some of their games a little later. That's what Jeff likes to tell everyone is called foreshadowing, right? And we'll pick up on some of that. But yeah, I like building. I used to work with my hands for a living too, so I think that's where it comes from. Always trying to put stuff together, and so yeah. But I love sports, and one of the things that you don't get to talk about a lot in the video game community is sports, and you gotta find people that like sports, right? And in circles, it's kind of usually one or the other, maybe a little bit of both. But I haven't met somebody in this group yet that talks about basketball as much as you do. And so really wanted to kind of load up our conversation today around the NBA in particular, because you've got a lot of historical knowledge there, and I'm going to tap into it today. I'm going to see just how big of a fan you are. I'm going to call you out and see if you're a fake fan or if you're a real fan.
Oh, my goodness. This is a challenge.
You didn't know this was the hot seat, huh? All right, let's take a peek here. So we've got a few things that are planned for today. Instead of our normal discussion period, we're going to have a quality conversation, because I don't think any conversation with Jeff is quality. So we're going to change it up. We're going to call it Quality Conversation with Purple Haze. We've got some sports ball talk in there. We've got some Did You Hear About items and 5 guesses. At the end, you're playing little condensed version of Game Over. So you were a contestant on Game Over. You know how the questions go. And you know that they're most likely going to be ridiculous.
I'm ready. I'm nervous.
To make it easy.
But I'm ready.
I actually have this backwards. We're gonna do these in reverse order. So the Quality Conversation is gonna be second. I don't know why I put that up there. Just Ryzak, no, I'm listening. I know you're listening, Jeff. I know. That's why I'm saying it, because I'm in control tonight. All right, Purple Haze, you ready?
Oh.
All right, what we're not going to talk about tonight is we're not going to talk about Vanessa Hudgens getting married and she's off the Bachelorette list, because, part of me was hoping my wife would find some like old dude that had money and leave me for him, and then Vanessa Hudgens would be right there. I could just swoop into her. But no, we're not going to talk about that tonight. We're also not going to talk about how Stadia had a hell of a showing at the Game Awards, because I'm done talking about Stadia.
Oh my goodness! Right. Don't even mention it.
I'm not talking about it anymore. So that's what we're not going to talk about tonight. Jeff would be happy, since he killed Stadia on his birthday.
He did. September 29th. I will never forget that day.
Oh my gosh. It's just burned in your calendar brain. All right, let's talk some baseball news here. Shohei Ohtani. I think it's Shohei. He's been all the rage the past couple years in Major League Baseball, playing for the Los Angeles Angels. He's a pitcher and a hitter in the American League, which is crazy. He's got a ton of power. He's got a 100-mile-an-hour fastball. Just signed a massive 10-year, $700 million deal with the Los Angeles Dodgers. It's $300 million more dollars than the highest that there was. And I've got to ask you, chump change, right?
Yeah, no. For some. I mean,
$70,000 or $700,000 a year, right?
Yeah, $700,000 a year.
$70 million a year. What am I doing? What is my
70 million? Yeah, so you take $700,000, which would automatically put you in the top 0.5% of wage earners. Multiply that by 100, And that's what he gets every year.
Hey, Jeff just said in the chat his salary is more than 5 teams' total payroll.
What?
Jeff was all bummed out because he was sending me tweets about how Ohtani was on a plane on his way to Toronto. Okay, Jeff's freaking out. Just, yeah, we're going to get Ohtani. Wow. And then he signed with the Dodgers.
Oh, my
And
goodness.
apparently it was, the show Shark Tank.
Yeah.
The investor, Robert, he usually sits all the way over on the right.
Yes.
It was him in the plane that they thought Ohtani was on.
Oh, really?
So he took a picture of himself like in a Blue Jays jersey, like, hey, you can sign me instead.
Oh my god. Well,
so Jeff was a little bummed, but the Dodgers, the rich get richer.
Good? Is he this good? So Amby follows baseball a lot. Yeah, who's in chat right now? Is he this good? Like, is this like a fan? Like, is he like, oh, we're gonna print championships now, or is he like, billion followers on TikTok or something?
He's a little older guy coming to Major League Baseball, right? I guess there were some items that kept him in Japan a little bit longer with his contract. So I want to say he came over like mid to late 20s, which is a little later in your baseball career, right? He's only got a couple sample years in the majors, but those sample years have been impressive. He won a Cy Young, like as a pitcher, but he can also hit 30 home runs, right? So he's a good player. But I just like how do you come up with that number?
700 million?
Yeah, like that's 300 million more than anybody else has ever gotten.
That's funny money.
That's funny money. Gap. So either, he is going to bring in a whole new fan base to the Dodgers, right? Because you're going to have a lot of Asian American, a lot of, Asian continent type fans that are now going to migrate to be Dodgers fans because they like Ohtani. He's also just kind of cool. He's got a really cool demeanor about him. He's really laid back. And so like that's appealing, here in the States as well. But is he going to be able to back it up? This contract's also fully guaranteed.
70 million. You realize this is like CEO pay.
Yeah,
I think this is more than Tim Cook makes.
It's crazy. It's crazy money.
Like, or it's up there. It's up there.
Hey, get your bag, right? Like, get your bag. There's no problem with that. But I hope he can back it up. I hope he's not like there was a guy that signed a goalie contract for the New York Islanders a while back. I remember it began with a D, but I don't remember the whole name. It was like an Italian name. And he signed like some massive like 10-year deal. It was like the biggest one, longest one at the time, most money at the time. DiPietro, I think. And I want to say that he only played like a couple of years and then he wasn't even the starter anymore.
I mean, well, it's like Freddie Adu, right?
You know about Freddie Adu? I can definitely talk about some Freddie Adu. DC United Freddie Adu.
What are you talking about? Like, I was like, I remember when Freddie Adu came out and they were like they signed him to like $1 million at like 14
years old.
Yeah, and then where's Freddie Adu?
My question exactly, And it stinks.
Now we're talking 70 times that, so I guess with inflation, it's like the same thing, right? But
well, there's a lot of pressure put on the young, so maybe he can handle it better since he maybe was a little bit more mature by the time he got into this. Maybe he was a little bit seasoned. So Sanchez Gaming even said Ohtani was almost a Blue Jay. Jeff,
oh, look at that! Look, Crow with the quick response on Tim Cook. Tim Cook taking a 40% pay cut. Wow, life is hard. 49 million. So he's making 21 more.
What did your guy Sundar make?
Sundar, my guy?
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't like Google any since they shut down Stadia. But I think Sundar's at 200 million or something. He's getting overpaid. That's all I know.
It was ridiculous. Yeah, he had way too much money last year. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I want him. He killed Stadia, so he's overpaid. That's all I know. 70 million.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like you said, funny money. It's a really good way of putting it.
But here's the thing. Like when you think about the people who are making that type of money, right?
Mhm.
We're not talking like the 1 to 5 million range, which is usually like your big time lawyers, your big time doctors. We're talking like entrepreneur CEO money now, like big money.
Yeah.
And all he has to do is play. He doesn't have to worry about like lawsuits, class action. All he has to do is play. That's like crazy.
Sundar received $226 million in compensation in 22.
That's why he shut down Stadia. That's exactly how much Stadia is worth. He's like, I'm shutting this thing down.
Oh my gosh. Most of that CEO money is from stocks as well, so not real money. That's a good point. Well, still, it's a lot of money. It's a big number to have a contract.
Yeah, 70 million. And it's in LA.
Hopefully, yeah, it's in LA. So, I don't know what the tax structure is in California.
California's getting paid. Like California's getting. That's why Jeff's mad. Canada did not. Canada just lost out on like $30 million. And
it's a shock to me that the not the Mariners, the Marlins down there in Miami can't bring in some more of these players and actually build a contender for years and years and years down there. Because I feel like players would want to go play there.
Problem,
right?
Yeah.
No taxes, no income, personal property tax, all that stuff.
Jeez.
Shohei Ohtani. Get to know the name.
Is he the most? This is I don't know this question, right? I know Floyd Mayweather was the highest paid athlete in his prime, right? They would say Floyd Mayweather's how much he made, and it was like because he would structure his contracts a certain way. Is this the highest paid team athlete of all time?
I think it's if not, it's got to be up there, right?
Right, there's no NBA player that's out there. There's no football player.
No football
there's no
player.
baseball
Patrick
player.
Mahomes makes $5. It wasn't his deal, like 12 years, 500 some million.
Like I would have to think it's
Joe
somebody
Burrow
like
topped that, but it's still 500 some million.
Maybe
like a soccer player.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It would have
like
to be
Messi
like,
didn't Ronaldo get like a million or $1 billion or something like that? Messi was offered $1 billion. Yeah, it was I think it was Messi. Messi was offered $1 billion to go play in Saudi Arabia for 1 year or something like that. 2 years.
And he turned it down for Miami?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
No way. Yeah. No one's turning down $1 billion.
Dead serious. Messi.
$1 billion? You're like, nah, I'm good. I'm going to like the setting of Grand Theft Auto 6 to see it in person.
How much money did Saudi Arabia offer?
I mean, I'm pretty sure they offered them the $1 billion to lose to Saudi Arabia in the World Cup.
I'm pretty sure that it was like $1 billion that they were offering.
I'm pretty sure Saudi Arabia paid Argentina
Lionel Messi rejected Saudi Arabia offer worth $1.5 billion.
What?
Yeah.
They offered him $1.5 billion?
Yeah, it would have been $500 million a year for 3 years. And he turned it down. And so Jeff and I have talked about this before. It was a while back,
That's funny. That's ridiculous.
Part of his deal with Miami included like stock in Apple. It was like Apple and Adidas, if you will. So
this is $500 million.
Yeah, it was a 3-year contract. It would have been a total of $1.5 billion.
Are y'all listening to this? Like 70 million is crazy. Like we're up there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
500 million a year.
Yep.
It's basically like double Donald Trump's worth in 1 year.
It's crazy.
This is ridiculous.
Crazy. Shohei Ohtani is number 1.
Dame Lillard, Milwaukee. Oh man, Dame Dollar getting paid. I didn't know that. 61 mil.
Dang.
I know. But how did he secure that? He's never been an MVP. He's never been all NBA, I don't think. How did he get 61?
Giannis wanted him bad.
How do you
and Giannis is number 3 at 59. How do you have both of those guys
like that's over?
team?
You're over the salary cap at 190. You're at 120 million with 2 players.
Yep. Unless it's any no, because it couldn't
the
be one of those stacked contracts, right?
They do have the bird rights on Giannis.
I don't know.
Ridiculous.
It's crazy. It is crazy. A sport that you don't see contracts that large in is hockey.
Hard pivot. Hard pivot.
Breaking news is that Jeff and I on this show talk a lot about Las Vegas and how Las Vegas is becoming like the mecca of sports in America now. And now they're going to be getting the NHL draft at the Sphere. So Graphic Skier last week was awesome, letting us know about his time there at the Las Vegas Grand Prix, and said, I asked him point blank, like, was it just as cool as what it looked like on the pictures? He was like, even better. Like it was so cool seeing that in person. So could only imagine like being inside at one of those shows or something. So have you been to Vegas?
I have.
Yeah. Are you a Vegas gal? You like Vegas?
I love blackjack.
Okay. So. All right. I went to Vegas when I was 14. I went with a church youth group, and we went to clean up homeless shelters during the day, and in the evening we went to the casinos because every casino has like an area for underage. So like, of course, the one that comes to mind is Circus, right? There's like a whole amusement park in the
that's such a grimy.
Yeah, there's like a roller coaster down there, right? So
Circus is such a it's still open too, but it's such old Vegas vibes. My goodness.
He was telling us because we were asking a couple of questions, and he was saying that there's it's cleaned up quite a bit. I mean, it's a lot different than what I remember. For sure, it's just much bigger now. There's more there, and still it's drawing in all of these sports, all of the betting that's going on with sports. Like it's just becoming totally different.
Well, I mean, when you go to Vegas, so like I would venture to say 3/4 of Vegas's tourist population at any given time is coming from LA.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's like kind of right there. Sure. And so I could see
there's a 4-hour drive.
Yeah, it's something.
I think it's like a 4-hour drive.
It's something that like you want to get out of LA, you go to Vegas, right?
Of course, that's all desert, but it's
but
the most boring 4-hour drive ever.
Well, anytime I have like I'm part of like a wedding party, or when I used to be part of wedding parties, they don't ask me anymore. Then it was a chick from LA. We would always go to. It was always Vegas, and so
snatching the bouquet out of the air.
I don't know. I guess I missed it. I missed the bouquet there, but
trying to hit it back.
I
natural instincts.
I avoid those things. They're like, the single. I always avoid it. I alys I know that.
Yeah, y'all have fun. Go for it. Sorry, I totally cut you off. Next.
No, but so I could see where Vegas is getting, the sports teams and all that, coming from California. So I it's too much money to be made, and
I'm excited. The Golden Knights now, they've got a hockey presence and a good one at that, right? They're the defending Stanley Cup champions, so it's I don't know, it's kind of cool. I guess I always used to get used to like the NFL draft, at Radio City Music Hall, and now that they're moving it around, like I understand the appeal of moving it around, but you kind of look forward to hearing that from Radio City Music Hall. It's the NFL draft, so I wonder if this will stick for a while, or if this is just going to be because the Sphere is losing money really bad right now. So
really,
yeah, they gotta get that thing turned around. A lot of it's from like the opening costs and things like that. But you figure you can't just like rent it out to the local high school's choir concert. Like they're not renting space like that. It's got to be a big event, and there's only so many big events that you can have in a week. So
many companies are willing to pay for that. Yeah. I mean, I would imagine that's a losing proposition almost every single time.
I feel like it'd be cool to see a TED Talk in there. Like
Maybe.
something on like space or something. So you can
I think you overestimate the U.S. population, the U.S. Appetite for actual knowledge.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe
No,
so. I get everything I need from TikTok.
it's basically
30-second videos. I'm like pausing. I'm like trying it,
That's it.
Oh boy. NFL, there were a bunch of games today, and we're not going to get into all those games and everything. I didn't even know that this was a council when I talked to you earlier, but the NFL Management Council has informed clubs that they're not going to let them know what salary cap projections are, which they normally do, because business is booming, and they think that the salary cap is going to be set at $240 million. Well, didn't you just say you're not going to provide a projection, and then you said it could exceed two? Isn't that a projection?
That's a projection. That's like hinting without telling.
And I think we were just talking about this earlier with that baseball deal too. But these salary cap is growing exponentially each year. These players just continue to make more and more and more, and it really it sheds that kind of transparency across the positions, like who makes more than who, right? Your quarterback is typically always going to make a lot of money. Your left tackle, is going to make a lot of money. Right tackle if it's a lefty quarterback. But I'm interested to see what happens with the running backs going into next year with this knowledge, because they were all getting together before this season, like, hey, maybe we should hold out from our teams. They're not trying to pay us. And you got Saquon up there, right? You probably hear a little bit about Saquon and his financial kind of stuff. So will they open up the checkbook if they get more, or will they just give more to that one person?
So that's what I was saying. I think you could run many different models on this.
Mm-hmm.
And what usually happens is, unless you put some type of minimum salary in place, the rich will get richer. Yeah. Right. Or now granted, most NFL players we're not going to say are poor. I mean, they aren't it just based upon the violence of the sport. Sure. or the risk to injury. But yeah, I think if it goes up higher, right? But let's put it another way. Messi got a $500 million salary, right? Supposedly. Do you think anybody else in the Saudi Arabia soccer league got it? Do you think they're like, oh, let's spread that abroad? No.
Nope. And where his was like a $500 million deal, I think Cristiano Ronaldo, who did go to Saudi Arabia to play, I think he only got like $250.
Only, man, life is hard.
Well, what I'm getting at is you go there, you're the first player to go there and show that you guys can go to these leagues, right? And then Messi just comes in, he's the greatest player on the planet. He just won the World Cup, and they're like, no, we'll double it. Yeah, we'll double it, no problem. You come on. Yeah. And then Cristiano Ronaldo's sitting there like, I'm the one that brought everybody here. Like, what are you talking about? So
yeah, no, I think so yeah, I think this is just going to be a thing where you're going to have a few players who are going to get the bulk of that. Theirs is going to go higher. And unless you have a new, what do they call it? When the owners and the players come together.
Like a bargaining agreement.
Yeah, the new bargaining agreement.
Yeah.
You're going to have the players union advocate for something there. This is what happens in most of these sports leagues, is that's the biggest thing, that the 80-20 rule is in effect. 20% of players make 80% of the salary, and 80% make 20. It's probably even worse than that. It's probably 90% make up 10 and 10% make up 90.
Well, and it's not just the on field or the on court draw for the money. It's how much is this player going to help us off the field as well, right? Are they going to sell tickets? Are they going to sell merchandise? Are they going to, be somebody that we can put on commercials and, pump people up? So I think that some of that money too is looked at in a marketing type aspect too. I mean, Messi is one of the few players. LeBron James is another one that can actually back up consistently all of the crap that they do off the field. And by crap, I mean, just especially with LeBron, he's like in all these shows. He's got like the movie that he did. He's got business deals. He's got that school in Cleveland. Like he's got people pushing those buttons for him and stuff, right? But he's a businessman. He knows what's going on. He's become a businessman. And so for the Lakers, anything that LeBron James does is just going to bring publicity to the Lakers. And you and I both know there's no such thing as bad publicity, right? So even when LeBron is in the target and the crosshairs of, media and people when he's talked about, it's still beneficial for the Lakers because it fuels that hate that much more. People are going to buy tickets when he comes to town so they can go boo him, like whatever it is, right? And I think Messi definitely did that for Miami. I mean, just look at the jump that they had in their season after he got there. They won the in-season, or they won the MLS Cup or whatever it was, right? So just crazy astronomical numbers. I always just worry, are they gonna back it up? There's too many players, too many people that have had mega contracts that have just
Well, yeah, I mean, I obviously that's why I asked the question before, like with the baseball player is like, because there is a commercial side of it, right?
Yeah.
And I think if you talk to the players who are coming out of college, they're very well aware of that. It's very different. I think, y'all talked about the Tom Brady conversation about how there's a lot of like mediocre players out there, right? Yeah. And we see this all the time. Like, and we're going to talk about basketball, but there's tons of 3-and-D players who are amazing, but they get underpaid because they don't have the commercial success as someone else.
Love Tom Brady, hate Tom Brady. I really have. I've listened when he has spoken since retirement. I didn't listen when he was still playing. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but
no, yeah, he said dumb stuff. It's like now he's wise 40. What is he? 47.
I feel like the past couple of things he has said, he's just talking the truth. I mean, you do have a lot of lazier players today. You have a lot of people that are still grinding that don't have the talent. You got people that have the talent that stop grinding as soon as they get paid. And the NFL, the football players are very much like that, because what is an average NFL career, like 3 to 6 years or something like that? Like, it's not long. If you can get one contract or, one
not
contract after your initial.
Not guaranteed.
Yeah, no. So it's interesting. Every sport, I guess, is a little bit aligned differently, but there's still some of those same principles across, these contracts for the sports. So, all right, let's kick out of that and let's get over to what I really wanted to share with you today. All right, this is the Quality Conversation with Purple Haze. I got to do these little intro things in case Jeff's gonna like go back and clip it. He always tells me that I do a really crappy job, and so I try to get better. He's kind of hard on me, like he expects me to be able to do things that I can't do, like be quiet.
Oh my goodness.
It's a freaking talk show. All right, here we go. Up first, Purple Haze. The Los Angeles Lakers are this year's NBA champion, in-season NBA champion. This went down the other night. They beat the Indiana Pacers, finished undefeated for their 7 games in the in-season tournament. I don't know that we have talked about this before, even in just chat. Did you like this in-season tournament idea? You did?
Yes, I thought it for 2 reasons.
Okay.
One, it was something entertaining. If you like sports, you watch sports, you're a competitive person, and it just had that extra umph of competitiveness, right?
$500,000 a player, right?
Right. And we just talked about it. And the Lakers are a prime example of this. Between Anthony Davis, LeBron James, and I can't think of
D'Angelo Russell.
D'Angelo Russell. Yeah, I couldn't think of his. Between those 3, is D'Angelo, because I still think he has a pretty solid contract.
Yeah, he does.
Like, everybody else is basically on either the veteran minimum, the rookie contract. So you're really talking about
mid-level exceptions.
Exactly. You're talking about a solid payday for a lot of those players. I mean, this is Milwaukee Bucks, right? This is why some of these teams and so when you're actually a team captain like LeBron, a Giannis, you know that you took the lion's share of your team's salary, and you're like, yo, let's put it on. So I liked it for that. And then you had rookie teams like the Rockets, right? I'm a Rockets fan. You had teams like the Rockets who, hey, that's how they made their mark. Like they're going out like day in, day out, because they're virtually all rookies on that team or all on their rookie contracts. And they play hard. So I like it for that. And yeah, it's not bad. I think there's more on the line there than the All-Star game.
I was trying to remember who they interviewed. I can't remember who they interviewed, but they said that the money's great, but had the prize been an automatic bid to the playoffs, now everybody's playing a little bit harder, right? You mean I got to play 7 games hard to go ahead and get into the playoffs? Then I could just kind of coast the rest of the year. Not saying that that's what they would do, but if it was an automatic berth to the playoffs, maybe that is enticing as well. But $500,000 is a lot to say no to.
Yeah. I mean, I think Adam Silver, for one, praise Adam Silver for getting this off. Ever since he came in as the commissioner, he said he wanted to kind of do something like this, so it finally happened. So that's one.
Then that European model.
Yeah, something there. And I think that was a solid response from fans other than the courts. So
I didn't like the courts.
No one liked the courts. And so I think, except for the floor cut. Yeah, exactly, girl. And so I think looking at going forward, potentially they do up it because the number, I agree, the number potentially is low for your big 3 like that. But I think for other players, it is definitely, I think the rookie minimum for a first round draft pick in the NBA is $800,000. Don't hold me to that. I know it was somewhere like that when I did the rookie.
It's less than $1 million for sure.
Yeah. But they definitely know the number in taxes. Like I said, I did the rookie camp 2 years in a row for all the NBA rookies, and they talk about it all the time. So that's a big.
It's kind of like whenever you got maybe your first job. And I know your first job was probably a lot different than my first job, but you start seeing what that potential could be. You know who the players are in the room, right? You know that people have different roles and responsibilities, and there's people that make more money, and you want to know, how do I get to that? But you're also going to make sure your paycheck's right every time when it comes in, because you need, you're not making a whole lot. Like you got to make sure that it adds up. So yeah, $500,000 is big.
And $250 for the others, right? $250 for the finalists, right?
Yeah, which is good too, And I know Halliburton, who is the best player on the Pacers right now, I think hands down. He was saying he's frustrated with losing. He wants to win. This is another opportunity for a player like him who may not make it long in the playoffs when you're stacked up against some of these power teams, right? But earlier in the season, there's still teams that are dealing with injuries. There's still other things going on. It doesn't mean it can't be just as competitive. And this gives an opportunity for that and for maybe some players like that to win. Now, does this mean the Lakers are going to win the NBA Finals? Does it mean they're the best team in the NBA? It just means that they were better at what they had to do right now. That's all it means. Anthony Davis did go off though at like 40 and 15 or 45 and 10, something like that. I'm a little dyslexic. LeBron had the flu, like the Jordan game.
Nowhere close. Nowhere close. Nowhere close to the significance. What I would say is that I think let's talk about the Lakers. We talked about the tournament. Let's talk about the winners. The Lakers, I think, needed this. The slow start to the season, it got them something to get motivated, and put their head into the game. And so from like just playing, right, this is something when you're the team captain, you're the veteran, and you need to get your team motivated. You can now hold them to that standard the rest of the year. Like, hey, we are the in-season tournament champs, even though we may not be the top seed. We are still, that lethal of a team, and we need to play that. So I think as far as getting the team focused, which we know the last few years the Lakers have struggled to be focused throughout the season, this has really been a good catalyst for them.
Say what you want about LeBron James. Everybody's got an opinion about him. He's now the greatest basketball player to ever play in the NBA because he's won everything.
Has he won a Sixth Man of the Year?
You know what? That's a great point. He hasn't won a Sixth Man of the Year. This is a little blurry. This isn't my best job getting this in here. But I guess from the championships, he has now won them.
4 NBA championships, 4 NBA Finals MVPs, 4 NBA MVPs.
And he can always say that he won the first ever NBA Cup.
19 NBA All-Star. Is that the most?
I don't know if it's the most or if Kareem is at 20.
19 NBA.
I thought Kareem had the most.
3 NBA All-Star MVP. What does that even mean?
Kareem also played for like 35 years, it feels like. So played through 3
Robert
decades.
Parrish. Robert Parrish played for like 30 years, I feel like.
Robert Parrish did play for a long ass time.
He played for a long time.
He did. I remember seeing pictures and like video of him when he first started playing. And then I felt like then he was playing with color TV as well.
No, Robert Parrish, like he's like when I started following basketball, he was like a veteran. Right?
Yeah, a veteran, my ass. He was like a grandfather.
I feel like I grew up with Robert Parrish in the NBA. Like,
and Kevin McHale. It was the 2 of them.
Yeah, like they were just
and Danny
there.
Ainge. It was the 3 of them. There you go. I think the 3 of them stayed after like Bird had it was like the 3 of them for like another couple years still, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, Robert Parrish would have been well into the mid to late 90s. I just remember
he was battling Wilt Chamberlain and Patrick Ewing.
like this totally different old man. Like old man straight. Like, oh man, I would love to have the stories
there. You might have to revisit Robert Parrish later. That's a good pull. That's a good pull.
All NBA first, second, and third. When was he All NBA third team? As a rookie?
Probably as a rookie.
NBA All Defensive first team. Yeah, that was 1 year.
Again, I mean, you could say what you want about LeBron. There's a lot of reasons to not like LeBron. There's a lot of reasons to be annoyed with LeBron. I think one of the stats that I don't think he gets credit for, and this isn't a stat that I know people track, but have you ever heard of him being mixed up with a female?
No.
Mm-mm. Nope. And him and his wife, at least in public, appear to have a really, really good, strong relationship. They like have like a handshake they do and stuff. And I think that's one of the more impressive with a player of his magnitude, with the popularity that he has. I don't know. Maybe he's just a different cat. Maybe there's stuff going on. There's stuff written and, money exchange. Maybe he's got a hall pass. I don't know. But I've never heard about him straying. And I think that's rare with these superstar athletes.
No, sure. You're right. But look at the bar we just set for professional athletes.
Sucks, doesn't it? My wife and I were talking about this not too long ago, because the one thing that frustrates me about professional sports is that a lot of the things that these guys can do, they almost get away with it. Guys and gals, let's talk about women's professional athletes as well. When you're an athlete, it's almost like you have a different code of screw up that you can do. In my job, if I was on video, doing something to or with my wife, right? I wouldn't have a job the next day. I wouldn't be just suspended with pay and then told to go to a couple of classes and then come back because I can run the ball 10, 15 yards a carry, right? That wouldn't happen for me. But athletes have a different, they can apologize and everything can be okay kind of thing. And I think that's one of the areas where I don't think LeBron gets enough credit, because for, what is it, 19, year 20 almost, I don't know that you, other than the Miami debacle of the decision, I don't know that you can tell me where LeBron is really screwed up. People always try to find something. Space Jam 2 maybe. But like where has he screwed up? You know? And I think that's rare. That he's not only had this longevity as an athlete and as a physical specimen, but to not screw up, it's pretty cool.
No,
maybe that's not a category for the GOAT conversation, right? But I just, everybody's always got a story, and I don't know that anybody knows anything on him. So
no, at that magnitude, yeah, I agree. Doesn't have any type, like, because a lot of times you'll see potentially spousal abuse, right? You see that trips up some players. You see, I see the infidelity trips up players. I think those are the two main ones for a lot of
age, age and wear and tear on the body. He's now the NBA leader in points, right? And he's practically on every leading list at some point, top 10, top 15, top 20, whatever.
19 seasons, 19, right? This is his 20th if he has NBA.
And he's still averaging like 23 a game.
20 seasons, you're gonna put that up, right? Most of your competition, the average lifespan of like an NBA player is like 6. Your greats are like 12 to 14. Maybe you get someone in the 15, 16. So yeah, I can see that.
And people will say he's gotten a lot of calls, and there's LeBron rules and this and that. There were MJ rules, there were Shaq rules, there were there's things that happen. Has he maybe been coddled a little bit more? I think maybe you could make that argument. I think you could, but hey, he's 1-0 in the NBA Cup. All right, let's get out of the LeBron chat. Okay, we got a couple of rookies here this year who we've talked about one of them extensively on this show. Jeff said I'm not allowed to talk about Wembanyama anymore, but you're here today, and I know you're a big Wemby fan. But there's this guy Chet Holmgren, okay, and I started picking up on Chet when he was in high school, actually. Some of the Bleacher Report stuff and things, they have high school basketball that they follow, and it was him and it was Jalen Suggs and a couple of those other guys from that graduating class really just were phenomenal basketball players. He got hurt in the preseason last year, so he actually didn't get to play a rookie season, which is why he's considered a rookie this year. But he's had some pretty big moments so far. He's taken KD one-on-one. I think he scored 35 the other night, and he's killing people at the end of the game. He's been kind of a deep assassin late in the games, almost like a Nowitzki type, right? He's a 7-footer.
Yeah, he's 7 1.
And then you just got Wembanyama, and he's just a freak. I was looking at his game log. He's had maybe 3 games so far where he hasn't scored in double digits, but he's always had double-digit rebounds in those games, right? I mean, what, he's 7-10, 7-6, 7-4. Are you watching a lot of basketball now, and are you paying attention to these rookies? Have they excited you enough that they're on your radar? What do you feel about them?
So I follow these because, right, I'm a Rockets fan. So the Spurs are in the Southwest Conference, or whatever the Central. I forget what they label the Rockets. The Spurs are in our conference with the Mavs, so I have been seeing it. Obviously, the Rockets lost to Victor earlier this season. I think that was the last game the Spurs won. Chet, I'm actually was surprised, right? Chet went second in the draft last year. And there was a lot of talk about, he's not thick enough. He's going to get hurt. And sure enough, he got hurt. And so I thought that was it. So what I want to give kudos to Chet is to come back from that injury. It was not a soft, I mean, he was out the entire season.
Yeah.
And to come back into play, that says a lot. Just because as an athlete, when you get hurt, especially that first time you really get hurt, you lose a lot of confidence. Yeah, it just you always are. For me, it was my hamstring. Like I never really got over that initial hamstring pull.
On the lateral movement or on trying to like top speed?
Top speed.
Trying to get to places to beat the ball and stuff like that.
It was during it was conditioning. It was conditioning, okay. And we were doing sprints, and it was weird because it didn't pull as I was extended. It pulled coming back, and that's when I found out like your quadricep can only be so much stronger than. Found all this. I was like, that would have been great to know before. So. But yeah, so I think I'm following them. I still think rookie seasons are like I want to see where you are your third season. Mm-hmm. Very few players does that not apply to, but for the vast majority, I look at the third season to kind of see like, okay, now you've hit that wall. Right. We see rookies hit that wall later in the season. We see sophomores specifically hit that wall and it's not that they hit a wall, right? Yeah. It's now that your assistant coaches have a full season's worth of tape of you. They've seen you.
When you come in as a rookie, you're fresh, right? Yeah. You're not seeing everything. Usually rookies will start off strong and they'll fade as the season goes on. Because the NBA season is way longer than any NCAA or any semi-pro season that you could play, right? But the games, the amount of games and the physicality that's in the games, it wears down on you. A lot of these kids were still playing in March, then they have to go to the draft combine, then they have to go to summer league, then they have to play in preseason and then in these games. And yeah, if you play AAU, if you play travel, you're playing year round anyway, but it's not at this level. It's not at this physicality, right? The travel, like everything that's involved and included. And I think historically, the second year, there's that sophomore slump, right? That's why they call it the sophomore slump. Because like you said, now you've got tape. Now people are picking up on you. How do you come back year 3 and respond? I totally agree with you. I think year 3 is definitely that year that you can measure what a player can be off of, because you're going to have had to have bounced back from something, whether it be physically, whether it be mentally. You got to develop your game a little bit more. When I'm watching Wembanyama in the first couple of games, he was trying to use a little bit more of a softer touch than using that size. And that frustrated me because it's like, dude, you need to be down there offensive rebounding, right? Like you're huge and you're athletic. That should be a cakewalk for you. But as I watch him and as I understand, I mean, it's very much a process, right? He's not going to be polished in this first year. And he's playing the way that he started playing the way that he was playing in Europe, where he was more of that finesse kind of guy. How are they going to use him in the pick and roll? How are they going to use him down on the block? And how are his offensive rebounds going to come are going to be things that I watch when I look at him, because both of these guys are tall, they're lanky, they're gangly. And are their bodies going to hold up? They can shoot, absolutely. But are their bodies going to hold up is what I always worry about with these big guys. So
I mean, yeah, big guys.
Especially because they run more now than ever.
You always have to worry about the feet, right? We say that about your big your fives. It's always about the feet. And so let's wish them a happy career. Let's hope they do. There's something though that I worry about Victor that's not talked about. And I know he's a rookie. I know he's on the Spurs. There's something about grooming a champion and grooming a player who has a winning mentality. I worry that the Spurs are not winning. Like there is something like if you think about a lot of your players who have like excelled, like we talked about Steph. Well, when Steph was hurt, Golden State was losing, right? It wasn't like he was playing and then they were losing.
And LeBron or what's his face? Draymond gets kicked out of games when Steph's not playing.
Exactly, he can't play with his. That's his. If they could figure out. But that's my thing. Like even when LeBron first came into the league, he was like that's
a little bit.
Yeah,
but he was in the East. In the East, you can be 20 games below 500 to make the playoffs.
But that was still that idea of like success.
Yeah.
Right. That's where I and you got Pop, and there is a point to where I think we give Pop a little bit too much. I think Pop's past his prime, right? Personally, and so there is something I kind of think Chet is winning. They're competitive. They're learning things versus Victor. He reminds me of like perfect Houston Rock, Jalen Green, right? Jalen Green didn't win initially, and now I kind of like his desire to win. I kind of see Victor the same thing. Like you kind of need to give them a taste of success and give them that like, hey, give them that pressure that you need to win, that you need to like reach some level. And we see this in all professions. Like you get some like in the Army, I would get some hotshot lieutenant, right? Went to Ranger school, maybe did some stuff. Think they have it. No, you still have to you still need to prove yourself. And right now, he needs to win.
I know that there's going to be a lot of like clickable moments for him where things are going to click, right? It's going to get easier. But they're also a very young team. They don't have a lot of veterans on that team. So how do you have people to help coach him through stuff? Well, they have two of the greatest centers to ever play the game that they just call up on a whim to talk to Wemby, and that's Duncan and Robinson, right?
Oh, are we calling Duncan a center?
I mean, wasn't he at some point?
I mean, that's the question. He's a power. Like that is a power forward. That was the whole thing. But no, you're exactly right. But
I think he got moved to power forward for record reasons.
I think we talked about that on your greatest of all time.
We did.
It's Reagan. It's still very young. I'm not saying he's not breaking records. I'm not it's the mentality. I think you gotta win. Like you're coming out as like the biggest thing since sliced bread.
Literally.
Yeah.
Literally he's huge.
Yeah. But that's the only thing. I'm not saying he's not gonna do it. I just said that's where my initial so far 21, 22 games.
However many games in.
Like I give Chet's winning, like just the mentality. When you're at that level,
they have a fun team. The Thunder do. That's a fun team to watch.
Well, they've been fun since Dort, his rookie season. Like once they showed that he had that Mamba mentality on defense and just and could really go at it. Young and fun. That's.
We should have talked about Josh Giddey. Yeah. Oh, well, another time. Because right now I'm going to take you on a trip down memory lane. Remember Kemba Walker?
I told you. The head fake, the crossover.
Yeah. Kemba Walker is playing in Europe right now, and it is not going too well for old Kemba Walker. A lot of these guys, they'll leave and they'll go to like China and they play in some of these overseas leagues, and they'll tell you that it's better basketball than over here because they couldn't make it over here and yada, yada, yada. But Kemba at one point in time, I want to say he was averaging over 30 a game in a couple of seasons. Like when he was with the Hornets, he was just lights out. The UConn championship run, like crazy. He's averaging 3.2 points per game this season in Europe.
So this actually makes me really sad because Kemba was in the East. And this is actually potentially we're going to look back and you know who you could also do this with? MVP candidate, same time Kemba was doing his thing.
Stephon Marbury?
No, Steph's a little older. Isaiah Thomas.
Oh, he wants to come back into the NBA right now. I just read the other day he's staying in shape.
Yeah, but he's not playing. He's not even playing.
No, not at all.
Right, but
Yeah,
those two
that is right. He was MVP
he was an
candidate
NBA
that year with Boston, right?
Yeah, he was an MVP. Like he was a top 3 vote getter.
He was lighting it up. He was shooting from like half court to win games and stuff that season.
Yeah.
And then he got that weird diagnosis of that weird like ghost injury that like derailed his career.
No, well, it was more than that. Like, so he held out for, like, he was supposed to get paid. He was averaging like 27, 29 a game. Unless he starts getting indicted, just saying. Yep, no, Zion is, we could talk a lot about Zion. But Kemba is, was this premier, like, I don't know if it's a prototype, right? Because they both kind of play the same. We can see this kind of this undersized point guard.
Undersized point guard that can just shoot.
Can shoot, has handles, right? Is kind of scoring for, right? Both of those are like scoring first point guards, which I don't, we could talk about the merits of what that is. And I don't know what it is. I don't know. There's another, I could also talk about another player actually came to the Rockets, then went to Denver, but he was like really out of it, lost his his mental fortitude.
Rockets went to Denver.
Yeah, he was in the Rockets. Well, he wasn't in the Rockets initially. I think he was with the Suns, then the Rockets, then Denver. He was a point guard. Chris Jackson, not Chris Jackson. Oh my goodness. This one went like his mind went somewhere else. And he was a really
Raja Bell.
No, let me go and start.
Phoenix Suns. Phoenix Sun point guards. There's really only 2 Phoenix Suns point guards that come to mind. One is the governor, Kevin Johnson, and the other is the 2-time NBA MVP, Steve Nash.
Oh, Suns point guard, the greatest of all times, KJ.
Gotta be KJ, right?
Yeah, KJ. Let me think.
Mahmoud Abdul Rauf.
Oh my goodness. It's going to bother me. This kid was another undersized point guard. But either way, I don't know if it's a thing in the league right now. And when you throw up Chet, you throw up Wemby. If the NBA is changing the prototype, and we see this in sports, right? Where you have these players who they were the thing, and then just something seismic changes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because Isaiah Thomas was still scoring.
Yep. Well, Jeff and I talked about this a couple of months back. I think it was months back now. The NBA game has gone outside for a long time. And now the big men are having to shoot more 3-pointers so that they can be relevant because they can't get down to the blocks fast enough by the time these shots are up. They all don't run the floor the best, right? So you see a lot of these centers, some of them even playing like a point center position, bringing the ball up the court. So what happens? Now you bring all these big guys out to the perimeter to defend. So what's open? So we're going to watch a shift in the NBA where things are going to go back inside, and then it's going to have to force the big guys to go back down. The NBA changes. It's like a big circle, and what starts working well, they'll figure out Leandro Barbosa. That was a good call. Did he play for the Rockets? I know he played for the Suns.
Ty Lawson.
Oh, Ty Lawson. UNC Ty Lawson. Wow.
He's another one, right? But he was decent. He was a starter.
Yeah.
Like it's all of these guys are in the same time frame if you think about it. Like this is not like there's like 4 or 5 of these point guards who were all kind of that 5, 10.5 to 6 foot range.
Yep.
Decent choice, decent basketball knowledge, and then NBA said no, we're done with them.
John Wall.
John Wall.
Same type of game, but he's somebody that probably should have had a little bit different career.
Okay. He was never at Phoenix. I guess he was at Denver, then Houston. I got Ty Lawson confused. But yeah, that was the guy, Ty Lawson.
Look at you pulling that out. You know, I might not have been wrong to pick this topic for you. I'm just saying.
I basketball is fun for me.
I love
hey,
basketball.
Bruce, how's it going?
Bruce Campbell. Bruce, we upgraded tonight. No Jeff, so it's good times. Good times. All right, last bit of this conversation here. I had put you in tune on this a little bit earlier. I was looking through some articles, and it has been said that the 2000 NBA draft is the worst draft in NBA history, not because of the players in it, but because only 3 of these players ever made an All-Star game, and one of them isn't even on this first round board right here. That would be Michael Redd at number 43 to the Milwaukee Bucks. You were running through some of these names earlier with me. Kenyon Martin, Stromile Swift, Darius Miles, Marcus Fizer, the rookie of the year from that year, Mike Miller, who had a pretty decent long career. But you look down there at a guy named Jordan Crawford. Jordan Crawford never made an All-Star game? I just find that hard to believe.
It's not Jordan Crawford. Jamal Crawford. Jamal Crawford, not Jordan Crawford. You got Mateen Cleaves in there. He's another one of those Ty Lawson Michigan,
type.
Yes.
My guy Etan Thomas, who played for the Wizards for quite a while. Quentin Richardson is in there.
Quentin Richardson
Sakalidis is in there.
Now, Quentin Richardson won a slam dunk contest. I always get him and Michael Redd confused.
Quentin Richardson. Mo Pete, the great Toronto Raptor. Morris Peterson. Man, some good guys in here. But this is the worst draft ever. Now, we were expanding on this a little bit in our conversation earlier. You seem to think that this was kind of a dead time in the NBA as far as the youth and the talent of the youth, because you had Yao Ming coming up in 2002. You had LeBron in 2003. These guys were very easily forgotten after that. So they didn't have much of a chance anyway, did they?
Yeah. So 2 things right here, right? 2000. Let's think about, and I could say the same thing about tennis.
Y2K.
but specifically basketball. Here's where I think why this potentially is there's no all-stars here. This is a transformational time in the NBA. You're going from pretty heavy, the 90s NBA to what we eventually go into roughly around 2003, 2004 NBA. So there's like a 3 to 4 year period in between that you had guys who came up, right? If they're coming in the league in 2000, they're in AAU in either the mid 90s or they're playing a certain style of basketball. Then you get into like 2003, 2004, it's a different league. So look at the players here. Kenyon Martin. What type of player is Kenyon Martin? When was the last time you saw a defensive player go first round in the NBA draft? This year. Stromile Swift. All he could do was dunk. Darius Miles. He could dunk well. Darius Miles.
Didn't Darius come out of high school?
He did, but this was probably before the 3-and-D, right? Because that's what he eventually kind of turned into. Mike Miller. Yeah. I could never watch Mike Miller because his back was always it's just so painful.
Chris Nim, he's a world champion.
Like I said, and if you actually look at it, the only one who actually did something, who kind of played the same, his game transcended because he could always get a bucket, is Jamal Crawford. And he was a 6th man of the year.
Yeah. I mean, you got Jamal McGlure in there. He played center for the Hornets for a while. Speedy Claxton in here. The best player of this entire draft, hands down, is the greatest basketball story ever. It's Mark Madsen. Okay, it's got to be Mark Madsen. Last pick of the first round. All right, he stepped in for KG after KG went down with that injury. He went on and like led the league in rebounding or something crazy like that. Or he was pretty daggone close to it. And then he signed a massive contract after that, like tens of millions of dollars, and barely ever played again. Mark Madsen, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Mark Madsen effect. You don't have to be very good. You just got to be in the right place at the right time.
Oh my goodness. Well, that's what I think about this. I think this is just a transitional period. Yeah, guys who grew up in one form of basketball in the league turned on them right around that second to third year where you're supposed to make that jump off.
And we saw a European shift as well. You started to see more Europeans that were drafted in the first round. You had some guys that had come through, in the 90s, late 80s and 90s. But there's 4 names right here that are European descent alone, just in this top 29.
It was this was when we started going away from where you could have offense, right? Like I said, this is that offensive time. This is where if you played solid defense, your offensive players, you're solid up. You're gonna get in foul trouble. See? Like when Stromile Swift couldn't stay on the floor.
Chronos.
But yeah, interesting period. 2000.
So it seems like it was yesterday, but it was really 23 years ago.
Is Ricky Rubio a bust? I would not say he's a bust. I would say he just didn't live up to the hype. Like bust is like Kwame Brown.
Greg Oden
got hurt. It's hard to call him a bust.
Still a bust.
that one's kind of hard.
Yeah,
to me, bust is like you've had many times to try to get it right. And
we were talking earlier, Eddie Curry. Eddie Curry
could probably be considered a bust.
Yeah. Not Tyson Chandler, though. He's still playing, I think.
No, Tyson Chandler has a championship with Dallas, I believe.
He's played forever.
I remember he came out of high school. San Domingo. I can't remember.
And Eddie Curry. Back to back, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
They were both on Chicago, right?
Yep. Yeah, that just tells you how bad Chicago was after MJ. All right, we're going to roll through these quick. Got a couple of did you hear abouts. There's a former Jaguars employee that is accused of stealing $22 million from the franchise by exploiting the team's virtual credit card program to purchase a new condo, a new Tesla Model 3, a Nissan pickup truck, and a $95,000 watch. Purple Haze, have you ever used the company credit card for yourself?
Yes. But I paid it back. We have.
You heard it here. Nope. Edit that out, Jeff. Edit that out.
We have something because you have to claim the expenses, and I only have one issue with this.
You get reimbursed. I don't like being reimbursed because then I still have to pay the interest.
No. Well, we just do it where they take it straight out of our check. I didn't accidentally use it. I just didn't have my credit card, so I just I just have one thing. I'm totally cool with this entire list, but why a Nissan pickup truck? like why? Like you would have probably made it through, but they were like, "Yo, who buys a Tesla and a Nissan pickup truck?" Like,
no, we were good with the condo, the Tesla, and the $95,000 watch. Yep, that looks like the rest of the expense. Where'd this Nissan truck came from?
Throws it off.
Who got
it's
that?
Automatic fraud at that point. They're just like, you messed up.
That's good. Oh man, if you would have bought like a Rivian or something, would have never Cybertruck
would have been the
batted
wiser.
an eye.
But you bought a Nissan truck, and someone said Nissan still makes pickup trucks. That's what someone, and then they dug into it. And then they did some probably like racial profiling. What is Amit Patel doing buying a Nissan? Like this is what happened.
Yeah. Like no G-Wagon, like come on, man. The rest of the items on the list are top,
I know, Crow. Exactly. You didn't even know.
That's insane. Yeah, $95,000 watch. That's a hell of an Apple Watch, isn't it?
I'm not going to say confirm or deny, but I do like my I have a watch collection that gets up there.
Do you?
Yeah.
I just told my wife the other day that we should buy my son an Apple Watch because sometimes all right, long story short, he went to a birthday party, a girl's 16th birthday party, and they like rented out the clubhouse at the lake that's by us, like a small lake. It's like a community lake, only like rowboats and small, like the propeller boats, right? Pedal boats, canoes, things like that. But anyway, they rent out this pavilion, and there's a girl that he used to go to school with. They now go to different high schools, but they still communicate with each other from time to time. So we had to pick him up for his hockey game because this party was like right before the hockey game. So we're sitting in the parking lot. We're calling him. He's not answering. So finally, my wife gets up and goes in there, and sure enough, he's dancing with this girl. So he comes out to the car and he's like, "Yeah, I'm sorry. Like her friends came up and said, can you go dance with her?" And then I was just having a lot of fun, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I bet you were, weren't you?" Right. So I said to my wife, "We need to get him an Apple Watch, damn it, so that like he'll get the notifications on his wrist, because sometimes you can't hear your phone or whatever."
Yeah.
And she was like, "Yeah, boys don't wear Apple Watches in high school. It's a big no-no." And I was like, "What? Like, seriously? I always had a watch. Like, I feel naked without my watch, especially now that it's a smart watch, right?"
Your wife
Yeah,
said
she told me that the boys in high school don't wear Apple Watches. They don't wear watches.
This
Not
is
cool.
news to me. So what do they
There you
what do they
go.
wear? What, like a
They don't.
G-Shock?
They don't wear watches.
They don't wear watches at all.
Apparently it's not cool. I don't know. I said he should set a trend then. He should start the trend to be cool with the Apple Watch. Like, I guess I grew up watching a lot of spy movies, so I was always like, hey, like he's Purple Haze is right over here.
Oh my goodness. So do the girls wear watches?
Yes.
So here's what I'm going to tell investment advice. It's my Purple Haze investment advice.
There you go.
Buy low, sell high. Women's luxury watches right now depreciate extremely, extremely fast. Buy it used. When these girls who are used to wearing watches grow up and start making money or having money, they're going to want to get that. They will age into their watches as luxury. Buy low, sell high. Telling you
first. Clip it, Jeff.
Telling you.
Clip it. There you go. So yeah, the Nissan truck, I guess, is what got this done. Good call. I'm not a Twitch person. I've never really been. I have a Twitch. I tried to stream on Twitch. I just don't do the whole Twitch thing, so I don't really follow Twitch news. But I came across this that Twitch was shutting down in Korea due to the prohibitively expensive network costs. And then there's a lot of words that are in there that I don't know how to read that. Did this come across your desk at all? Did you know that
this
Twitch
didn't?
Was in
This
Korea?
didn't. It didn't. But I could believe it, right? I don't think Twitch is popular in Korea, right? So I think that you could say it that way as well. We didn't.
I've never been to Korea, but I imagine that Koreans, like Americans, like Mexicans, like Russians, like British people, love to see girls in bikinis in blow up pools asking for money to write on their little board. Don't you think that that's like a popular thing?
I think it's popular. So I did live in Korea for like 2 years.
Oh wow, okay.
Like 20 years ago.
Work related or family?
Work related. Army.
Okay.
Stationed in Korea. And here's the reason I don't think it's popular. Besides what you just said as well. Korea is so much further along technologically that they don't need Twitch. They just don't. Like, I was in Korea like literally 20 years ago, and there's stuff that they had back then that's just now coming over. Like, and Twitch is kind of clunky.
Jeff was telling me that there's like a service in, I don't know exactly where, Asia somewhere, that Elon wants Twitter to be, and it's like a chat, it's like a banking thing, and it's like everything all into one. It's called like WeChat or something like that.
Yes, WeChat.
Is that what it is? WeChat.
I think WeChat. I think it may not be WeChat, but I do know what you're talking about.
Okay, and so where you say that that's what struck me when you say that they're so far ahead that they don't, because they have other systems in place that we don't use.
They don't even have. Yeah.
We don't know about it. I get fascinated by the
This is
vending
actually my
machines that I
Korean
see.
phone. I didn't even realize I had this up. I don't know why this is right here right now, but this is the phone I had in Korea. This is so crazy. This was 20 years ago I had this phone.
Wow. Is that a Motorola Flip?
It is an any call.
Oh,
It's an
say
any
that
call.
10 times real fast.
And this is literally 20 years old. This is over 20 years old.
I got a flip phone too. See? Mine
But this
flip.
actually I could actually play games on this.
You could play Snake.
No, this was not Snake. This was like legit games on this phone.
Like what kind of games?
They were like probably what we would consider
Super Mario Brothers.
This is like probably N64 type of game on this.
Really?
Yeah, the dead serious. And you could gamble.
And you could gamble. What were you gambling
that?
on?
Like legit gambling.
What were you betting on?
No, I wasn't betting on anything. I'm just saying that
now you want to see. You were talking all this trash earlier about all this bad stuff you did. Now you want to be an angel at the camera.
I don't know why this phone's here. That's actually creepy that we were talking about Korea. But this is my Korea phone.
Sanchez says that he doesn't watch them. Good for you, Sanchez. Don't watch those dirty, disgusting, trashy.
But yeah, I believe that's
swimsuit streams.
That's exactly what Elon wants. But he's going to run into an issue. The American people aren't there yet.
I think there's a lot of other stuff going on too with who everybody wants to root for. You know, I don't think anybody can figure out what team they want to be on, because everybody feels like they need to be on a team. You know, you got to be Republican, you got to be Democrat, you got to like Facebook, you got to like Twitter. Like it's so ridiculous. Everybody loves to grab onto stuff. You know, go crazy. Gosh, I would never ever root for one video game system ever. I wouldn't do that. Not at all. Especially if it was in the cloud. That would be too cool. But I said we're not going to talk about, you know,
oh my goodness.
that stuff today. So we're going to keep it moving here. Jeff talked about this one with me again a couple of months back. You might have heard this story. YouTuber Trevor Jacob, he was flying this Cessna, this small plane, into the mountains somewhere in Europe, I think, and jumped out of the freaking plane. He's got like a pole camera. He's like videotaping himself falling to the ground, and he turns the camera and you can see the plane nose diving into the mountains, and it crashed. So he staged this crash for clout online, and now he's going to be in jail watching his butthole for 6 months.
Pretty flexible.
Was it worth it? Pretty flexible. Oh, I wasn't expecting that from you. That was good. Do you remember hearing about this?
Yes, I do remember hearing about this. And I think when I heard about it, I was like, no, like there's no one who would have deliberately crashed a plane. I think that's what I thought. And then obviously there was.
Yeah, I don't believe anybody was hurt. I think this was a very, very remote section of mountains, but still, what if, you know, I'm a safety manager. That's my daytime job. I have to live in a world of what ifs every day. How do you know you didn't just, like, you know, kill someone or something, you know, like all for what? A few clicks? It's crazy.
Yeah, well, that's the that stage we live in, as Tom Brady would say. And there's no longer really talent, just people who get a few clicks. Why jump out of a plane when you can just buy likes and views? Yeah, you know,
brings up a great point.
There was a cowboy character who was talking. He made a whole video about that one time.
Right? Yeah. Actually, when we did the No Yes Men, Jeff, Anthony, and I actually had a little rant about this on there, and I believe I used I think I said that if you did this, you were pathetic, I think is the word I used. Maybe it was a little harsh. I was in my feelings at the time. I'll be quite honest with you, but you know, natural progression is the best progression, right?
Yes.
There you go. All right. Big news this past week, Purple Haze.
Let's do it.
Rocket League is now in Fortnite, but not the way that you might think it is. There's a new game mode called Rocket Racing. We talked about this a little earlier. I shared with you some of my views about Epic Games and this Fortnite game in particular, and just there's a lot of things I don't like about it. But in between when I talked to you last and we started the show, I actually went and played it.
Okay.
It was all right. But I still stand very firmly where I was before. I don't know if I like all this stuff being integrated into Fortnite, because Rocket Racing isn't going to get like, 500,000 people were playing Rocket Racing. It'll be 500,000 people were playing Fortnite,
Hold on. My headphone died.
You're fine. I'm not saying anything that important anyway.
Say something.
Something.
There we go. I got you back.
So it was all right. It's not like Mario Kart. There's not like power-ups that you can like shoot people and stuff. But it is like an arcadey type racer where you build up boost and you can use the boost and stuff. So it was fun. I started playing the Lego game, which is one of the other
what
parts.
Did you think
I actually
of this
tried
one?
all of them. I thought this one was pretty cool. At least for this initial kind of put out here. I think that they could still definitely add some things to the game, especially like the tutorial thing when it starts up and stuff. But having played Lego games, this is what I would want a Lego game to be. I'll tell you that. I think it's pretty neat, and they use like some Fortnite, like how you hit the blocks. It kind of looks like that like burst of energy, like in Fortnite and stuff. And then there's another game which I don't have a thing for here, but it's that like rhythm-based game that's kind of like Rock Band. Harmonix, the people that made Rock Band, made a game to put in Fortnite where you actually team up with a team of 4. You pick a different instrument and you like perform a concert of 3 songs, and the things scroll down and you've got to hit them. But when you're using a controller, instead of it being like yellow, green, blue, red, it's like left on the D-pad, right on the D-pad, X and B are the buttons that you use. And it's really confusing because I'm not used to using the D-pad anymore. So, do you play Fortnite, Purple Haze?
I don't.
You don't?
I don't, but I mean,
or
I'm just, it doesn't, so it's kind of represents all the things I don't like in games.
Yeah.
Well, no, let me say that. It's right. I like puzzles. No puzzles. I like stories. No stories. I like pretty visual things, whether or the sound in the soundtrack doesn't have that. So then it's like, well, there's not a lot for it. I mean, I like the co-op nature of it, but again, it just never reaches. If I sit down, it's like Crata. If I sit down I'm just not. There's other things. If I'm gonna play a video game, there's other things I'm gonna play.
Yeah. No, I get that. I get that.
But you have a thing with Fortnite.
I do. I just I think it has a lot to do with being a parent, and I don't know if I'm saying it the right way. I was thinking about what I said to you earlier afterwards. I think it's the addictive nature of not only the game, but of the skin buying and just the add-ons. I heard you say in your last stream that you actually spent a lot of money on skins for Fallout guys. Is that what, or Fall Guys?
Fall Guys. Yeah, I spent about $40 to $50 on Fall Guys.
$40 to $50 on some virtual skins. Now let me ask, do they make you run faster, jump higher?
No.
It's just a look, right?
Just a look.
But you make your own money, and you can do exactly what it is that you want to do with your money. 8-year-old Timmy and 12-year-old Janice, they don't make their own money. That's mommy and daddy's money, And there's a lot of kids that have been in trouble for spending mom and dad's credit card without them knowing to buy Fortnite skin and stuff, And I think that's part of where the problem starts for me, is that it's just that addictive nature of the game. And now I have issues because Rocket League is my favorite game. It is my favorite game. I suck at it. Okay. I'm not very good. I am not going to be on Rocket League Championship Series anytime soon or anything like that. But I'm an athlete at heart. I like sports. I like competition. I like the fast-paced nature of Rocket League because you're really trying to get that ball in the goal, right? You're trying to get that ball in the goal. And Jeff says I'm wrong. Jeff is the one that's wrong here. So I just, why not put the new Rocket mode in Rocket League? Why put it in Fortnite? Why not put the new Rocket Well, hello, Jeffrey. I guess the Cowboys are doing okay, so you decided you could join us? I can't hear you, Jeff.
He's not talking.
He's not. He's just going to sit there.
I had issues. I just want to say you are wrong. You are wrong because there's actually 4 modes now. You've got Fortnite Battle Royale, Fortnite Lego, Fortnite Rocket Racing, and then you've got Festival, right? So they're actually, though, so yes, when you go in, you will see, oh, there's 1.2 million people playing Battle Royale. Oh, there's 500,000 people doing this too. So there's actually 4 modes. It's no longer just Battle Royale. It was Fortnite Battle Royale. It's now.
I'm glad you're here to answer this for me then. If you went to any kind of like congruent player list, would it show them playing under Fortnite or would it show them playing the mode they're playing?
Playing the mode they're in.
It would.
Yeah.
As soon as you go, say like Fortnite Rocket Racing, or would it just say Rocket Racing?
What it actually says, I would have to boot it back up, but it would say, it would say Battle Royale. It will say Lego. They're all independent numbers. Just like if you had built, the Coffee Talk playground, and we built our own, it would show how many are playing that, right?
So okay? So I see Crow's. I'm curious. So is Fortnite? Is it look the same as Rocket League? Fortnite Rocket League.
You got to stop and remember that Fortnite runs on Unreal Engine 5 and Rocket League does not. So it doesn't look the exact same. It looks Fortnite-y. It looks like Fortnite. But you can carry your game, some of your cars over from Rocket League. And then there's like the aerial kind of match where you have to jump and roll the car over, but it's not Rocket League controls. It's an arcade racing that happens to be.
But it's not called Rocket League. It's Fortnite Racing.
I thought it was called Rocket Racing.
But still not Rocket. It's not called Rocket League.
Yeah, it's not called Rocket League.
It's not called Rocket League. You're not in a dome, which is the Rocket League thing, right? It's just Fortnite Rocket Racing, right?
Yeah.
So everyone's calling it Rocket League, but that's actually incorrect. It's just a racing game, right? Yeah. And like Crow said, they're going to add all sorts of other. They got the festival in there, and they're going to just keep adding new, again, they want to keep people in there. It's no different than Apple. It's no different than what Apple does. Apple comes out with the watch, and they come out with this, and they come out with that, and same with Google, right? I have a Google Watch. I have a Google phone. I have a Google thing. It's no different. It's just they're building. They want everyone in their world, their ecosystem. So I'm going to go and still, right? So instead of doing something else, we're going to, instead of going and playing Justice League, I'm going to now log into Fortnite, and we're going to, do an hour of Battle Royale. Then we'll do an hour of Rocket Racing, and then we'll spend some time doing whatever, right? So Crow doesn't. Crow maybe Crow will do the Lego with me. Awesome for an hour. Then Crow's got to go. Okay. Then I'm going to jump in the battle royale with Doc, and then we'll go win a few rounds there, and then maybe you'll jump in, and I'll maybe do an hour race with you.
It's very personal to me because I love Rocket League, and they've given Rocket League no love while they give Fortnite all of this love, and I'm bitter about it, Jeff. Can't help it. You'd stop agreeing with Jeff Sanchez. You don't ever type those words ever. Never agree with Jeff. Okay.
Oh, you guys carry on. I have to send a very urgent tweet to YouTube Playables Ron Slusher.
Okay. we them boys. Is that what's coming?
Possibly. Possibly. Yeah. Yeah.
I'll enjoy that, Jeff. All right. Possibly. Well, if you don't play Rocket League, or if you don't play Fortnite, or if you don't play Lego Fortnite, you do and have played Call of Duty.
Who, me?
Yeah. Well, we're not paying attention to Jeff. This is still yours. You're in my show.
No, a Call of Duty runs into the same thing as Fortnite. The only shooter I've played that I put a lot of time into, because it had some semblance of team play, a little random story, some really small story, but some thinking. Rainbow Six Siege.
Okay. Rainbow Six Siege, I guess it's that team. Is it the team aspect, the objective aspect? You're not just running around trying to shoot people.
Right. Like there's actually something.
Spawn and shoot. Yeah.
Like Call of Duty and other ones, you just die and I don't get it. Like it's like.
Yeah.
Right. But Rainbow Six Siege, there's actually a thing where you're communicating, you're working together.
Yeah. I liked the Ghost Recon games for that reason as well. Because it was almost like having to link up, talk to each other about where you were on the map, which and SOCOM does a lot of that stuff too. But at the Game Awards, Christopher Judge, who is the voice of God of War, right? Kratos. He had a little line there where he said something along the lines of his speech was longer than the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 campaign. And this sent a lot of people into a little bit of a tizzy. Of course, the people that work on Call of Duty were very, taken back by his words. There's the Sony versus Xbox jab at the Game Awards, right? Because I think he followed that up with another company I'll never work for. Did you see this at all?
I saw. So Lo-Fi Monk and I streamed the Game Awards. Okay. When he said that, I was like, "Oh wow!" I did not hear the thing behind it afterwards. Yeah. But I also want to say that's fair game. Like I think that it's totally fair game. You're talking about someone who's also a player, who's also part of the gaming ecosystem, and I think some people. Like, I get it. People work hard on something. But I also get that, like, this is feedback. And I don't think he's the only one who said that. And just because you work for, like, this is, again, I think ridiculous. Activision, Blizzard, Xbox are some of the biggest names in gaming. And if they can't take a joke.
Activision, Blizzard, Microsoft, Sony, everybody, they've been going through, a lot of stuff with the lawsuit, the FTC stuff, all of that. God of War is considered by many to be one of the greatest story video games, of all time. And with him being the voice actor of a very single player, story driven campaign type feel. I think the only thing that bothers me about what he said, and I think it was that he did it in the way he did it, right? It wasn't just like an interview where he said something about it. Like he did it at the Game Awards in front of everybody. And I always have to go back to thinking about the kids, because video games, who plays a lot of video games? Kids, right? And so now you have somebody that's a voice actor for a game. that says this, and then you're going to have kids that are going to run out and run with that and the laughing and the ha-ha, and somebody's going to get their feelings hurt and yada yada yada. And I don't know if using that moment was the best way to be a role model. I think that's my only problem with it. I could really care what anybody has to say about any game. You think of hosts of things as kind of holding themselves with class and character, and I think he totally broke that character. So that would be my only problem.
I hear you. I wonder how many kids watch the Game Awards.
Yeah, maybe.
But I hear you on that.
You watched it. I mean, there you go.
What's that?
You're a big kid.
The day before. How long was it in development?
Oh my goodness. That's the game I was telling you about that I got excited about. And they said it was like this massive open world MMO. And then all of the Steam reviews are just like, this is trash. There's nothing MMO about this. There's nothing open world about this. Because I was going to buy it. I was excited.
Yeah, I think yeah, so here's the thing with these types of games, right? We've all been in the gaming community a while. This game has one of two options at this moment, right? I mean, a month ago, this game, or last year, I almost can guarantee you, this game, the studio had one of two options. They either say, we need to launch this, or we have to cancel this.
Well, Call of Duty has that annual contract thing anyway, right? They put a new game out every year.
Oh, yeah, this is the day before.
Sorry,
yeah.
Sorry.
This is to Crow's.
Mixed up.
No, Call of Duty. Call of Duty is different. Yeah. Call of Duty, I believe they had a contract that they had to put. They were good. I don't think this Call of Duty actually should have went out.
Probably shouldn't have. It's the worst ranked or worst rated one in history, right?
Yeah,
the other thing about the day before, I know we're jumping back and forth, and that was my fault, but there wasn't a lot of press about it. There wasn't a lot of hype for it. The same thing with the Avatar game. There hasn't been a lot of press, a lot of push for it, and so sometimes these things are flying under the radar, but people will remember something that was said along the way that kind of gravitated them or captured their attention. That's the only thing that they get locked and focused on. And I don't think you can really hide from what you say you're going to provide people, Yeah.
No, but I mean, that's what happened. Like, right. They were running behind. There's a smaller publisher, right? That did the game. They probably had some very ambitious project, and it barely survived. And I think this is the thing that people don't see. It's either you're going to put out either trash because you have probably some legal obligations that you have to do something. Yeah. Like, I can almost guarantee you they wanted to cancel this game, but they were facing some legal pressures to put it out. I almost can guarantee you when a game comes out like this.
That's a lot of things as a consumer you don't think about. You just your feelings get hurt, So
yeah, I mean, but that's the thing. Usually there's some type of legal something going on. There's like a skeleton team that's launching it. They know it's a bad game, right? Like, this is not someone the fact that they didn't get
to tell you that.
Huh?
So they're not going to tell you that.
They're not going to tell you. They're not. No. They're going to try to get whatever they can remaining out of that game, right? Because people still had to buy it. Some people still bought it.
Yeah.
In hope that they can maybe show like, hey, here's where we are at. We need more funding. Let's try to repivot, right?
Yeah.
Like that's probably what they had to do. I don't know.
I was ready to buy it. I'm telling you, I went upstairs with my son. I was like, dude, check this game out. It looks, I hear it's going to be really cool. It's an MMO, like open world, zombies, blah, blah. And he went right to the game on Steam and looked at the reviews, and it was like you know, like you go in there sometimes it'll say like mostly positive. It said like mostly negative or something.
Yeah,
and we started reading them, and it was all like 1 star, 1 star, just the stuff that people were saying. I was like, oh, I'm glad I didn't buy this because it was a $40 game. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I the only thing I could see that they would like the positive of this is that it's so negative, right? Because negative publicity is still publicity.
Sure.
That
No such
someone
thing as bad press.
Yeah, and so like that they may be able to get someone willing to fund it to give it a patch, to get it back to right the ship.
How many years since Cyberpunk came out is it finally being accepted by the community? And that was a massive launch of a game.
That was a massive. And Cyberpunk, I mean, I think we could say Diablo 3 fell into that same category.
Mm-hmm.
There is a trend of games that have launched poorly. Now, granted, Diablo 3, Blizzard had lots of money. CD Projekt Red, lots of money.
Mm-hmm. The Witcher really did well for them.
Yeah. So that's a little different story, but that was probably the conversation they had. What was the risk profile? Did they think they could salvage it? What is the path forward?
It makes sense. Those high level meetings that I'm never going to be a part of, but you've been a part of.
I know, no longer.
I'm going to move us along because we're getting a little late. I feel bad for keeping you so long, but I'm just enjoying talking to you. Where did you go to school?
Yeah. One of them. Oh my goodness!
Oh my goodness!
Let's go, Black Knights!
I unfortunately just took a screenshot. I don't have the video here of this goal line push, but there you go. Army defeats Navy 17-11. You told me this is like it's like the biggest thing in your life today.
I mean, it's all go Army beat Navy, obviously, but yeah, I mean, this was a Army did their best to try to give Navy a way out in true fashion, and it came down to the final. I mean, literally a game of inches. Or Navy would have scored there, and it wasn't probably the best football you're going to see in college football, but it always brings back lots of memories to see.
Did you ever go to one of these games?
Did I go? Yeah, I did.
Yeah. So were you one of the ones in the coats up here?
Yeah, 4 years.
There you go.
Long time ago.
I'm gonna have to find some old Army Navy games, see if I can point you out.
It's not hard. I'm tall, so I did that was a while back. I have a couple other schools between now and then, but good times. Cold. It was.
I told you I'd put it in here.
You did. Oh my goodness! But yeah, it was a great game. Great game. We watched it. My mom and I watched it, and my brother also watched it.
Well, I grew up in Northern Virginia. Annapolis wasn't that far away, so this game was always big. It was played at FedEx Field a few times, and it's just one of those things that I wish this got more publicity than some of the other crappy games, But they'll tell you this isn't good football, but you'll see more heart in this game because it means something, Yeah,
it's an interesting game, and this was actually the first one I believe ever that was played in Boston at Gillette Stadium.
Okay.
So it was a little uniqueness. I don't know, some anniversary of signing Declaration of Independence, something weird that they didn't make sense, like 247, some weird anniversary. Okay. And but it's an interesting game because all of these players will go into the military, right, of some sort, and then it's kind of interesting. Like it's like a rivalry between siblings, but we literally will die.
Oh, there are houses divided, Army and Navy.
Huh? What's that?
I said that there are houses divided by Army and Navy.
There's definitely some. They were on the field. There were some people. There are always some of those stories between brothers or twins, even, who chose different academies. But it's Army won this one, and Army's they've kind of. There was a time there where Navy was just really, really good, consider or relatively, and so.
I feel like Air Force has had decent teams.
Air Force was good this year.
Were they good this year?
Yeah, Air Force was really good this year. They
had some decent teams.
They were like 8. They were undefeated. They were top 10, and Army had just lost to LSU by a ridiculous score, and Army then upset Air Force this year. So.
When you play Air Force, do you say it's Army versus the Chair Force?
We do.
Zoomies,
we say Zoomies, Blue Falcons, Chair Force.
My nephew just joined the Air Force, so he's down in Pensacola at his school right
flight
now,
school.
So, yeah. So good times. And then he's going up with SPG up in North Dakota.
Who is this? You say who?
My nephew.
Oh, your nephew. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So he's a bomber.
Well, he's not flying planes. I don't know what his is it MOS is it still called MOS in
Army calls it MOS. They all call it something different, but
okay. All right. Yeah, I don't know what his orders will be, but I know that he's going to I know he's going like somewhere remote in North Dakota where it's going to be like -50. So drastic change from Pensacola, Florida.
It's cold.
Oh, geez. All right. I think that about does it. We had a heck of a conversation about a lot of cool stuff today. Thank you so much for entertaining me. But now you're going to be put on the spot because you're going to play this little condensed version of Game Over. And we got to do it decent for Jeff here. I've got to do it so that he can clip things, so he can try to make this into a short. And one of the things I always do is I continue to talk after I do this stuff. So I'm going to try to be very robotic, but please don't take any offense to that. It has nothing to do with you. All right.
Okay.
All right, Purple Haze. It is now time for 5 guesses.
Okay.
Check. All right, Jeff, you can clip that. All right. Here we go. This is all NBA trivia, Purple Haze. Be prepared. I told you I was going to find out if you were a real fan or not. Question number 1. Which NBA legend holds the record for most games played? Is it A, Kevin Willis, B, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, C, Robert Parrish, or D, Vince Carter?
Most games played?
Most games played.
Oh my goodness. I'm going with and we were just talking about Robert Parrish, so it's throwing off my
that's why I said earlier, I was like, dang, I can't believe you threw him out there because I knew he was in the question later. So
oh my goodness. This is hard.
Did I tell you it was gonna be easy?
I don't think it's Kevin Willis, another Houston Rocket. I want to say it's Kareem because of points. Like and if you go with like that, but we just said Robert Parrish played 21 seasons. It could be Vince Carter, right? Because he just retired last year.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like I'm gonna go with which NBA legend? I'm going to go with, oh man, this is hard. I want to go with Vince Carter.
Vince Carter's your final answer?
Vince Carter's my final answer.
All right. She says Vince Carter. The correct answer is Robert Parrish.
I should have went like that when that happened.
So Vince Carter is 3rd place. He played 1,541 games. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is in 2nd place with 1,560 games. And Robert Parrish is number 1 with 1,611 games.
Oh,
Kevin
my
Willis
goodness.
is in 9th on the list.
I didn't think it was Kevin
just
Willis.
Passed by LeBron James this year, 1443.
I was trying to see. I was going with Vince Carter because I didn't know if there was 82 games in a season with when Parrish and Kareem were playing the most, and so that's why I went.
And we were talking about him earlier. That's why I got real tight-lipped. I was like, "Whoa, shit! I better not talk about Robert Parrish too much because I might give away the answer later."
No, I did. We tried. Good. That was a good.
Vince Carter's absolutely a legend. He's a UNC legend, Jeff. We all know this.
But do you remember?
All right. Go ahead.
Vince Carter and Antoine Jameson back in UNC. Antoine Jameson was the better player. That's always. Yep. Look at that. I don't follow college too much, but I do remember.
Antoine Jameson was a great NBA player as well until his knees gave out on him. As soon as he lost that mobility that made him such a great finisher, it was done. But that's the case with a lot of these guys. All right, question number 2. Which big man holds the record for most defensive rebounds, defensive in all capitals? Is it A, Tim Duncan, B, Kevin Garnett, C, Hakeem Olajuwon, or D, Karl Malone? Remember, these are defensive rebounds, not total rebounds.
D, Karl Malone.
D, Karl Malone is your final answer?
Yeah.
Kevin Garnett.
I'm getting destroyed.
Karl Malone is second on the list with 11,406.
Oh, my goodness.
Kevin Garnett has 11,453. So there you go.
Okay, I cannot finish with a losing record. So we got to go 3-0. We got to go 3-0.
All right. Well, let's get into this next one, okay? Because I've got them all for you right here. Question number 3 is, which player holds the record for most personal fouls? All right. Is it A, Karl Malone, B, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, C, Dennis Rodman, or D, Charles Oakley?
Dennis Rodman, Charles Oakley, Karl Malone. It's not Karl Malone because we could never get him in foul trouble. So I don't think that's it.
In trouble with the law, though.
What's that?
I said you could get him in trouble with the law, though.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Mailman. Dennis Rodman. See, this is one of those questions. See, Dennis Rodman fouled out a lot. See, this is the one where you gotta but Kareem played a long time, so it's like that. Who struck out the most times in baseball, right? And then you just have to go with the long time. So that one throws me off on that. And then Charles Oakley also fouled out.
I mean, I know the answer, not because I built the question. I just.
Oh my goodness! I don't know this one. It could be. You have to go. Fouled out.
We should have just done the whole show with this. This was great. I like seeing you sweat a little bit.
Because it's like, who do you go with? Or
they were great choices. I'm not gonna lie.
All right. We're gonna go with. We're going to go with the one based upon, when did Rodman come into the league? 88? 87? 88, 88. And he didn't play there for a while. I don't think he. Shoot. Gosh. I got to go with Dennis Rodman.
Is that your final answer?
I got to go with Dennis Rodman.
Final answer?
Yes. No, my goodness. I'm second guessing myself.
Dennis Rodman does not show up in the top 10 on this list.
Second guessing myself. That's the thing. I would have got
Dennis Rodman was actually a really good defender. So he
never would. But where was Oakley?
Yeah. Oakley was number 4, 4,421. Who else was on that list? Karl Malone, 4,578. He's second all time. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, 4,657 fouls across his 37-year career. I say
How long?
that sarcastically because he played
yeah.
What he said,
Yeah,
21 years, right?
But I knew. Oh my goodness, that one's gonna because also my logic for both Parrish and Kareem would have held true.
It would have. You would have. As soon as you started going on the Kareem train, I was like, "Yeah, she's got this one. She's gonna." And then you went with the one that I threw in there
because he has like the most technical fouls or something. He has some weird.
Yeah.
He has some weird.
Because you think of him as a bad boy, so like as soon as you see that name on there, it's like, oh, it has to be Rodman.
But then you're right. He's a good defender. He's always on the floor, and
always
good defenders know how to stay out of foul trouble.
Yep. I think Dennis Rodman understood body positioning on defense better than any player I've ever seen. He was always taking a charge. He was always swiping the ball from people. He was like a nuisance at times when he was locked in.
Well, not only body positioning, because rebounding. The dude is like, right? I mean, he's strong.
Was he 6'8", 6'7",
6'7", I'm almost positive.
He was tall, but he wasn't taller than a lot of those other guys. He wasn't taller.
He reminds me of, like I said, but he was strong, like an Otis Thorpe strong.
That's what that's what I love so much about Charles Barkley. It's why he's my favorite player, because he was 6'4". He's the round mound of rebound. 6'4", and he was the league's leading rebounder one year.
Did you ever see his rookie season? He got up with the 76ers like that too. Used to just.
I watched a small documentary on his time with the 76ers, and those vets did not like Charles Barkley. Let's just be quite clear.
Yeah.
Right? Dr. J and Moses Malone basically looked at him and told him what they nicknamed him, like Cheeseburger or something like that, because he would always come into the locker room with a cheeseburger. So it's just a different player. He wasn't supposed to be what he was, I don't think. So, all right, you're 0 for 3, Purple Haze.
I know these two. The first and third are gonna haunt me because
I've been holding a lot of these about big men because we've had that conversation about power forward and center. I
see. And these are like the ones I wasn't a 4-5.
Well, there you go. Question number 4. This might take us into modern time. Who has the highest field goal percentage in NBA history? That means they've made more than everybody else, right? Like the percentage of what they've
highest
taken,
percentage.
Right? Okay. Minimum of 2,000 made. Okay.
All right.
Was that a dog or was that like a goat?
That's Remy. That's Remy.
Rudy Gobert, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Shaquille O'Neal, or DeAndre Jordan? Remember, minimum 2,000 attempts made. Or not 2,000 attempts, 2,000 made. This is the hardest one of the night. Yeah, field goal percentage, not 3-point shot. Correct. Correct. I feel like I want to give you a little bit of a hint on this one, but I'm not going to. I will. I'll help you out. The least likely person that you think on this list is probably.
No, see, there's 2 players. No, so see, here's the thing. I don't think it's Kareem because he's a scorer. And I don't think a scorer would do it. So then I now have to go to Rudy Gobert, which makes sense, right? Because Rudy Gobert makes sense because he's a defensive player. So that means if you want Rudy to score, you better be damn sure he's going to score. Shaq.
He's not shooting a J.
He's not, right? Shaq, kind of the same deal. But Shaq led in scoring.
Shaq also, he had that little turnaround hook, Not everything was a dunk for Shaq. I think a lot of people get lost in that. Shaq had low post moves. He had a little bit of finesse game around the rim as well.
So there you have it on that. And then DeAndre Jordan, what's throwing me off there is Chris Paul alley hoops.
See, great choices. I did a really good job on these questions.
You did. My goodness.
Man.
Rudy Gobert.
Final answer?
Final answer.
Man, I'm all over the place. Drum roll, please. Oh my gosh. Rudy Gobert was number 2, 65.3%. DeAndre Jordan, number 1 at 67.5%. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Shaq aren't even in the top 10. So your logic was right there. You just picked the wrong one. Oh, there we go. It's rigged. He says it's rigged.
Oh my goodness, because I knew the alley hoops, man. Oh my goodness.
I'm going to prove it's not rigged with this next question. Are you ready for your next question?
Yeah.
All right, here you go. Question number 5. Today, who do you think is the best NBA player of all time and why, Purple Haze? I'm just throwing it out there. I'm putting you on the spot. This ain't even a question.
Oh my goodness. So here, oh my god. I think I'm going to get this one wrong.
It's always about the GOAT debate, you know? The GOAT debate just never dies.
All right. So here's the thing. I think there's only evolutions of players. I know that's not what people want to hear. I always think like it's always they get better and better. And there's just, if you haven't had they had to change a rule. If you have like your own move, you are kind of considered the greatest of all time. Then people are like, you can't do that. So then I'm like, well, you have to choose it by positions, right? And this is kind of getting to you and Jeff's. Y'all had a show on that. And then you said you can't do that. So then it's like, if I had to choose the greatest of all time, knowing that, so we're gonna go. My logic, and I'm actually thinking this of the time, right? Because I go back and forth. Like I'm second guessing myself. I will say this has to be a two-way player.
Okay.
So right, like it has to be a two-way player. Greatest player. That means this is someone who could stand up on the defensive end, someone who could stand up on the offensive end. All right. Okay. Then I'm gonna say someone who is a true team player for a team sport. So this is someone who can play multiple positions for their team and excel at multiple positions. So this is starting to drop the list off pretty fast, right? There's only a handful of people who are defensive players and can play multiple positions, pick up multiple players, and do everything for their team. There's really only like 3 players at this point. There's only like 3 players at this point.
You still haven't gotten down to 1 though.
And that is why I have to go.
This is live. This is live.
Goodness, this is too hard. This is too hard. Oh my goodness. I have to go with the one who I saw in their prime.
Robert
I
Parrish.
have to go with the one who I saw.
Crow says, don't say LeBron.
No, it can't be LeBron. Based upon my categorization, it can't be LeBron. It has to be one of, it can't be LeBron. MJ.
Going with MJ.
Gotta go with MJ. It has to go. It's only like 3. I'm telling you, there's only like 3 players this could actually be in my book.
I mean, Michael Jordan punched Steve Kerr in the face. I don't know if he was the greatest teammate.
That's where Kobe got Mamba mentality. You know how many fights they got in? They just didn't show it. Don't even give it. Don't even. I mean, it is either gonna be. It either is MJ or MJ.
Hey, Magic Johnson.
Which one am I talking about?
Yeah.
Is that what I'm...
Yeah, I see what you did there. You thought you were slick. So this brings up a great point because I put out Twitter polls about like the greatest position, like trying to narrow this down. Because one of my things when it comes to this GOAT debate is what's the criteria that you're looking at? You just gave criteria for your pick. which explains a lot of the why, right? But people are like, oh, this person is just the greatest ever. Why? What are you basing that off of? What are you building your point out of? If it's championships, then Michael Jordan's not the greatest player ever, even though he was 6 for 6. There are people that have 9. But you can't just talk about championships because, like in that poll, I put Robert Horry in there, and you're like, Robert Horry got 6 championships. What are you gonna do? He's got 6 championships. So you've got to have some criteria. And I think one of the areas where I get mixed up when I talk about this is that I tend to blend not only the NBA career, but the college career. And that's only going to be available for some players, especially 4 years worth of college, right? And so I always lean on Kareem because of the whole body of work and what he was able to do in his time period. And that's no discredit to Jordan at all. Michael Jordan changed the way the game of basketball is looked
You're
at.
a big
right?
man
He made
fan.
It cool.
You
What's
lean
that?
towards the big man. You lean towards big man.
But Kareem was a different big man, right? Like he brought that finesse. He was that Olajuwon before Olajuwon.
I mean, he had the sky hook. Don't get me wrong. Like Kareem, yeah. Mm-hmm. Kareem is easily in my top 7.
And you said to me when I said this, how could Kareem be the best player in the NBA if he wasn't even the best player on his team? You do realize that Kareem was a Laker for 7 years before Magic got there, right?
No one's saying who lifted more trophies for the Lakers or anything like that. No one ever said that. But I said if we go to the Showtime Lakers, when Kareem is doing his thing, when Magic is doing his thing, right? AC Green. When we go to that Lakers team.
Oh, AC Green now. We can talk about some AC Green. Phoenix Suns AC Green. That's my man.
Right? But when we're talking about this Byron Scott, right? That's the Lakers, right? The Showtime Lakers. Yeah. That's Magic. That like when we're talking, and that's where I have to put Magic Johnson. Kareem gets hurt. Right, and that's why I gave you multiple angles to say. That's why I had to eliminate players. Who is a player?
There is one thing that Magic has that Kareem does not.
Rookie of the year? Oh, thanks. You went low. Did y'all hear that? He went low.
I'm sorry, Magic Johnson. You're a legend. And
I believe
I really hope that you can do something better with the Commanders.
Just get that. I believe he has HIV, not AIDS.
Woo! This has been a great show, Purple Haze. Thanks for being here.
But that's my thing.
Oh,
you have to think like look at what Magic had to do. He had to be a point guard. He had to be a power forward. He had to pick up everybody from the 1 to the 5. Jordan could do it all from the 1 to the 5. The reason, I go with MJ, I'm not saying which one, but they have to be able to do that. They have to be able to have both offense and defense and be able to do it both on the offense and defensive end. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, I wouldn't even say was the best center.
Interesting, since he won MVPs.
But over Wilt Chamberlain?
Mm-hmm.
But Kareem Abdul-Jabbar would say Wilt Chamberlain was better than him.
Well, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is humble. He's not anybody that is going to sit there and I mean, he just very graciously, let LeBron pass him in total points, and now he's number 2.
What else is he going to do?
I mean, he could have challenged him to like 1-on-1 or something. Like, let's settle this right now, young buck.
Okay. I mean, no, they're great. I mean, obviously,
who's your number 3?
Who? So
you said you would have whittled that down to 3. Obviously, the 2 MJs, Michael Jordan and Magic Johnson. Who's the third one that fits into that category?
Well, my bias comes up.
All right. Who's the bias then? Is it Hakeem? Yeah. Hakeem Olajuwon was a fantastic player.
Yeah,
and I think there's a lot of stuff about his game that was migrated out of Kareem.
I mean, you got the sky hook versus the dream shake, right? They both have that. I mean, I think I would have taken Akeem's footwork.
His role, yes. His role off the block was just, he's so quick.
So the reason if we think about Kareem, right? Kareem had his full body of work. He had an unstoppable sky hook. Mm-hmm. The reason but what other center in his prime did Kareem just destroy? And Kareem came about when there was a lot of solid power forwards.
Bill Walton.
Okay, exactly. But we would say if you look at that time in basketball, but I look at that lineup. You mentioned someone earlier today. You said Victor Wembanyama could go get one of the greatest centers ever
Duncan
to help
Robinson.
Admiral, Annapolis grad, and Akeem made him cry on his MVP season. You can then go get another person we just talked about, Shaquille O'Neal. Akeem again embarrassed him at the center position. You can then take another one that I think we mentioned also in the show, Patrick Ewing. Akeem Olajuwon, if we think about that time when Akeem Olajuwon was dominating, those were some of the most solid big men. That is the big men era. And so obviously, in my mind, I could not make a stronger argument than the MJs. So that's why I didn't put him up there. But I think he was Defensive Player of the Year, MVP, also Offensive Player of the Year, also led the league in blocks, led the league in steals, led the league in rebounds. It's hard for me to say for Akeem Olajuwon not to be in that conversation, in my opinion.
I'm still going with Kareem.
I know. I did my best. I did in my mind. It was like when I get an answer and I had to in college and I had to write down the correct answers. Which one can I make the biggest argument? And if I get dock points, that I can fight the professor over.
And here's the thing: I don't think that anything that you said is wrong. I think that we are all entitled to our own opinion based off of the intimate relationship that we have with that question, because you have watched and viewed games differently than I have, and vice versa, right? Our eyes pick up on different things that we recognize or that we're into. You made a very strong case for what your criteria for this person should be. Two-way player, lifts their teammates, can score, can take the toughest player when they need to, et cetera, right? You gave a very good breakdown there of what your answers meant. And I'll never vote against Jordan in GOAT conversations because of the impact that he had on the game, bigger than just what was on the court, right? I'm talking about off the court stuff. Michael Jordan made basketball cool. He made it cool. Let's just be quite honest, I mean, yeah, the Converse, the 70s. I mean, it was cool. It was like that. Dr. J with his big hair. Michael Jordan was cool, though. Everybody wanted to be like Mike. So
like Mike.
I'll never say that that's ever going to be a bad choice. But I still go Kareem.
That was fun. I mean, what's your argument over Kareem over Magic Johnson?
Well, I think that what it is for me is the hardware case for Kareem. Kareem has a ton of hardware. Oh, Jeff had to come back in for this part. He's got a ton of hardware. He played across 3 different decades, against the best players of 3 different decades. You had made a comment in your list of, if they have a shot named after them or what, the sky hook, right? He invented the sky hook. It was an untouchable basketball move. Rules were changed because of the way that he was able to manipulate the paint, a lot like the way Shaq was able to break backboards and they had to change up the whole backboard, but you had said when compared against Wilt Chamberlain, I brought up their their stuff right here. Kareem has 6 NBA championships. Wilt has 2.
Bill Russell, right?
Right. Yeah, no, he's got 9, right? Kareem played 20 seasons. He was an all-star in 19 of those seasons. The only season he wasn't an MVP or an all-star is the season that he was hurt, that he only played like 30 games. That's pretty impressive.
No, they're huge. They're hugely impressive.
He was a Finals MVP twice. He was All NBA team first team 10 times. All defensive first team 5. All defensive teams 11. Scoring leader twice. Rebounds leader once. Assist leader 0. Wilt Chamberlain's got him there. Wilt Chamberlain was the NBA assist leader one year. Did you know that? Kareem was block leader 4 times, and he was also Rookie of the Year. So I think for me it's hardware. I think it's playing against the players he did across those 3 decades, and then by the time Magic and the Showtime was there, that was when he was starting to wind down, and he had to change into a different type of player, because you're right, Magic was phenomenal, right? Magic, he could see that Magic is a great player. I'm going to play off of him now. And I think that was that adjustment for him. So, yeah, I just like Kareem. I think when I think of a complete player, I think of Kareem as well.
It's a solid choice. Like I said, I put him. He's always in my greatest of all time. Like I said, I don't ever really go this far deep into this conversation. Usually, I keep it at the evolution, pure evolution of the game.
I told you I was going to pick you apart today. Did I not? Did I not warn you? Did I not
so
say
upset.
I was going to grill
got
you?
3 of the 4. Like my logic was just off. Hey, game ball.
Dude, games. Raymond Sherrod, what's going on? You just missed the greatest coffee talk episode ever because Jeff was only here for about 5 minutes. What is on your hat?
It's a pom-pom.
Did you not cut the tag off when you bought it?
Shut up.
The new style?
Shut up. Who asked you?
I don't know. Jeff, did the Cowgirls win?
Imagine being the number 1 team in the NFL, and now you're like the 5th team in the conference. Could you imagine being that team? Could you imagine? Because I certainly can't.
That would stink. Jeff, you were listening into to most of the show. How do you grade the show today, sir?
Best show ever. It's because I wasn't on it.
Show ever. You hear that, Purple Haze? Look at that.
Oh, thanks for letting me fill in for Jeff. Like I said, I come and watch y'all after my show.
I'm sorry that I rambled on with you so long. What are we, after midnight now? Holy crap! This is the longest show we've ever done as well.
Oh, but it was fun, and I feel so bad. I looked down my NBA knowledge. I couldn't. I could get the only one that should have got me was the second one. After that, I should have. Yeah, had the logic.
Well, I made it difficult on purpose, because had you gotten them right, I was gonna pump you up, It was dang, she knows what she's doing.
But I'm just mortal.
You didn't get them right, so your Michael Jordan, MJ, Magic Johnson has no validity. I'm just playing. It was a great argument. It was a great show. I thank you for spending some time with me here and helping us out of a jam so that Jeff could watch his beloved Cowboys. You've had quite a long night. You've been going like 6 hours now. So.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's been a second.
Well, because we talked for a little bit even before you went on stream. So, great show. We didn't have to put up with all that hockey talk. You shut your pie hole, Crow Resin. Hockey talk is amazing. Man, Crow Resin's big basketball fan as well, so I know that he
Crow. How'd I do, Crow?
Ooh.
Did you have me?
Look at dude coming in swinging.
Yes, that's right.
Thanks, Sanchez. It was hard.
There you go. Yeah, it's a good thing there wasn't a prize or anything.
Oh, you were 5-0 in the people's hearts. You were 5-0 in the people's hearts.
I'm never gonna live that. Oh my god, it was.
Yes, loved the basketball edition of Coffee Talk. See, there you go, Jeff. People love basketball. All right. All right, Purple Haze. I'm not going to hold you any longer. Whoa, hey, I'm over here now. We're all big. Woo! Yeah, right. Hey, there we go. I'll put this back a little bit. This was a little chaotic for me, not going to lie. So hopefully I did okay by you, Jeffy, in hosting. Not used to doing these buttons, just used to doing the PowerPoint buttons. But
that's why I jumped in and started doing some chat.
Yeah, no, you were
chat.
You were great. I was so engaged in the conversation. It was hard to look away and click on stuff, but I think we did a good job of capturing what was going on in the chat, so it'll be all right. Purple Haze, when do we see you next? Not till next weekend?
No, this Thursday will be my last Shades of Purple. ...
What?
Excuse me.
What?
Last Shades of Purple ...
No, you're just taking a break. You're not. You're just going to be. You're just taking. You're just taking a break. You're not quitting forever, because then when you come back, I'm coming after you.
I said so. My last Shades of Purple ...
Look, I got to stop getting the two of you guys together. You get together with Jeff and Stadia dies. You get together with me instead of Jeff, and now Shades of Purple is dying. What is going on?
I didn't say, I just said it will be my last Shades of Purple ...
All right, we're gonna have to figure out what these ...
But she's not ruling out a return. She's not ruling out a return. Unlike those other people who say, "I'm quitting and I'm never gonna do it again," and then they're back a few weeks later.
Last Shades of Purple ...
All right, well, I will.
Are you doing something else Thursdays at 8?
Have to get there.
Gotta tune in for this one. It's the last
one.
Gotta
tune in. Look, that's Jeff. That's what we call foreshadowing.
I gotta learn this. I gotta learn this stuff.
Oh, that's good stuff.
But it should be tiers, lots of stuff. But yeah, moving on to newer, bigger things.
Sweet.
Ooh. Are you changing your name?
Red Haze? Red Haze?
We'll see. Gotta tune in.
All right. There, you heard it here first, or second. I think she said it on her stream too.
You're right. That's right. We have to be there now.
Have to be there now. That's right. So pass it around. Spread the word. Everybody get to Purple Haze Thursday. Jeff, we're gonna do a little Fortnite or something tomorrow. We're gonna figure something out for tomorrow because I can't play Wednesday. My daughter has her end of the season banquet for the travel soccer.
God,
no
when
more
is she
travel
moving out?
Soccer.
When is she moving out? I can't wait for her to move out.
June.
God,
June.
When is she moving out?
July, August. When do they go to college? August? Yeah, August. Yep. Then I'll have a little bit more time. We'll see. I probably won't. Jeff, enjoy the Cowboys' victory evening. Purple Haze.
Oh, I am going to be unbearable this week.
I'm turning.
I am going. Ray, mute me, delete me, Ray. I am going. Roxanne, I am going to be You think I'm unbearable in a troll before? I've already started. So yeah, I have to now go find Eagle fans and I have to taunt them.
Good luck with that, Jeff.
Thank you.
Until next time, Coffee Talk is back next week. Maybe without Jeff again. We'll see.
I may be stuck in the States. I may get beat up. I have to find a table to jump on. I gotta find Buffalo Purple Haze. You know how have you seen those videos of the guys jumping off onto the folding tables? And I've been asking Bill's Mafia. Do you buy a table there? Like, does they have like a vendor, or do I have to bring my own portable table? Like, I just don't.
Your own.
I have to bring my own. They don't have like they don't. Well, you think somebody would be selling them there?
I don't know. Maybe you should sell them while you're there. Maybe that's a good business plan.
I'm just there to watch the boys win. Josh Allen throw us a couple of interceptions. It's gonna be awesome. Yeah. And you know what? You know what the weather says? It's gonna be 40 something of your degrees. I didn't sign up for that. I signed up for negative 40 and snow. Yeah. So I am not happy.
That's warm. Good luck with that.
I'm not happy.
All right, Purple Haze. Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Get
some sleep. Jeff, take care until next time. Chat, thank you very much. See you on the next Coffee Talk. Bye.